I know there's a bunch of different types of rabbits. And no, the jackalope's not a meat rabbit.
Wait, are you sure? I've seen it on a few trophy rooms.
Yeah, I didn't say it wasn't a real thing. I just said it's not a meat rabbit. So, Wesco, you rabbit. What's up, Doc? All right, so I got some information, some things to show you guys here, and then I got some stuff I want to talk about. What I have noticed with my daughter, and everybody else can chime in stuff as we go along. Checked off's in here. I know it looks Photoshop, but there's pictures of him laying on it, pictures of him doing things with it, and he's a huge hit in Japan and across the country, across the nation, the world. But yeah, so he's on there. Talk to her about Easter eggs. Yeah. All right.
Cadbury is my favorite egg.
Okay, so rabbits for preppers. Why? Well, let me go in here first. Let's go in here first. Okay. But I live in an urban environment. I live in an apartment. Great. They don't make noise. This is good.
I had one that was a real thumper, and he always was banging on his cage and rattling the cage.
Yeah. My wife's had my daughter's had a couple of those. My wife wanted to get one until she saw that one. But that one would make all sorts of noise and stuff until my daughter put him in a lot bigger cage. Then he settled down.
Yeah.
So there's a point to think about on that. Oh, but those are so cute and cuddly. And that's a
giant. What are they called?
Yeah, I'll bring it up. Yeah, this is a breed here in the United States.
Is it the checkered giant, or there's the other one? I can't think of it.
It's the other one. It's the giant. I can't think of the name now.
And my cousin had.
There we go. Flemish
giant. Yes, my cousin had one, Cadbury, and he was the nicest rabbit. Yeah. See, you talked about raising them for meat, but my preference is to raise them for their rabbit poop.
Yeah.
That's.
All right. And what do we got popping up here? I got a bunch of stuff popping up here. I thought I had it set so it would do that, but it's popping up images up here. Okay, so and this is a rabbit hutch inside. I found a whole bunch of different ones like this, where they can go upstairs, downstairs, hidey holes, and everything else. And the larger or the I actually saw one where they had smaller cages, but they had connected them together with some like 6-inch pipe or 8-inch pipe, drain pipe, thin wall stuff. And the rabbits will go back and forth and stuff. So really cool. And let's see what else we got here. And of course, you can see the apartment building behind them, but hey, the rabbits are out there and stuff. Now, there is one thing I have noticed, because we had rabbits for pets back when, it was before my daughter went off to college. And the rabbits love to dig. Something like this, I would give the rabbits 2 days and they'll dug their way out.
Oh, yeah.
And A.M. Ryan just came in on your side.
Thank you.
And Mother Earth Garden Club is here. All right. So with rabbits digging, one of the things we found out, because next door to us was a daycare center, and they poured cement right up to the fence, for the kids to ride the toys on and stuff during their outtime. Well, the rabbits dug down under and dug tunnels underneath the cement. Not a problem, because it was 4 inches. They put the concrete wire in there and stuff, but they were digging down there so they get standing there nice and cool in the summertime. Problem is, when one of them got sick, we couldn't get it out, and
Yeah.
But yeah. I've seen several ones. Trying to think of the name. She's backed by Nampa here in Idaho, homesteading in Idaho. I can't think of her name, but they raise rabbits. They have goats and they have rabbits, and the rabbits have a big habitat out there, and they pre-did tunnels for them, and
like
they have
colony.
little colony, and they have little like an inspection box for a sprinkler system. They pop the lid off and they can see down in that big area, and they close it so they can inspect them. And they don't, since they have so many tunnels and stuff, they're not digging new tunnels. They're happy. So, hey, Christy, how's it going? And Took by V's here. All right. And yeah, I said he worked a couple 16 hours. He's on his third one in a row.
Ew.
On a Saturday.
Ew.
So that's 5 plus 4. So he's got over, with the overtime, he's got over an extra week of pay coming. And Myra Page just came in on your side, Tammy.
Hi, thank you.
All right, let's go look at some other ones here. Okay, so this is one off the thumbnail. These are kind of I think I'm going to build something like this for my daughter. Of course, I'll probably just go. I may go solid in the back to up here in Idaho for the weather and stuff. Give them a little more. As you can see in this one, it's open in the middle here. They can go from the big open space to the little space, and looks like they got a partial shelf in there too that they go either under or on top of, and that that would keep rabbits happy with it. I like those. You look underneath it, you can see where the alfalfa gets knocked through as they nest and do stuff around. I can see where they've been pooping in the corners of the cage here, and by the stains and stuff. So there's your poop collection, people.
Yes, garden gold.
Yes, and I didn't save it. I've been the last week here. I've gotten a little addicted when I come in to popping up the reels on Facebook, and there's this one. He's gardening. He had his 9-to-5 job in the city, and 5 years ago he cut out, and he talked about everything he's doing in the garden, and he loves his rabbits like this, and he does, and he goes, any scrap vegetables and stuff, go to the rabbits first. And if the rabbits don't like it, then it goes to the compost pile. And then he goes, he feeds the rabbits, and the rabbits gives poop, which goes back into the garden. And sometimes he grows a lot of food just for the rabbits. It is the same thing for the chickens around the chicken pen, where they scratch and kick their poop out and stuff. It's nice and fertile, and he grows I forget what it was, some sort of short grass that the chickens really love. And so he grows that all over the place, and he goes in, cuts, gives a bunch to them, and by the time he gets around to the end, it's already up to be cut on the other end. But this one here, I don't know if you can tell, there are that cage behind it, area behind it is a chicken run. Green building is a chicken shed. So he's got his rabbits and chickens right next to each other. So they kind of keep each other company.
And the chickens will help keep down on the fly population.
Yeah.
Underneath that pen, they'll clean up.
Okay. I found, types of rabbits. Cool. And so you got a brush rabbit, a ravine rabbit, New England cottontail rabbit, swamp rabbit, desert cottontail, European rabbit, eastern cottontail rabbit, Amami rabbit.
I've never seen that one in my life.
Yeah. Volcano rabbit, pygmy rabbit, marsh rabbit, Bunyoro rabbit, Mexican cottontail rabbit, Can't pronounce that one. Another type of cottontail, and a bunch of other rabbits and stuff. I go, cool. And then I found another one. Another post here. 60 rabbit breeds. So up here on top, people, you can write this down. rabbitpedia.com/rabbits-breeds. I went there and it's like, holy moly, information overload.
I've raised like 5 or 6 different breeds of rabbits. I will never ever do the white New Zealand's ever again. You ever see Monty Python?
Yeah.
The white New Zealand's are where they got that idea for the rabbits in there.
Oh, the killer rabbits?
Yes. Those things are vicious. You always have scars. I still have scars.
All right. And checked off, said the New Zealand and California are good meat breeds. Prepper for the ages, welcome. And raised Angora for the fur.
Yes.
So
I had a French Angora and it was the sweetest thing. And I could literally call it and it would come across the yard to me like a dog. I love that Angora rabbit. It was so nice. Somebody stole it right out of my cage.
Oh.
I think I know who did. I'm 99% sure I know it was a relative.
Oh.
They were very impressed with my Angora rabbit that would come to me like a dog. And then 2 days later, it was gone.
Christy says, had a real sweet New Zealand, then got a mean one. It would hiss at me.
And
okay.
It's the white New Zealand's with the pink eyes. Like, if you get a red New Zealand, I got red ones, and they're so nicer and gentler. It's just those white ones with the pink eyes.
Yeah. So I looked up some information on the Eastern Cottontail. Eastern Cottontail rabbits can have between 1 and 7 litters each year. They average 3 to 4 litters annually. So you figure about at least 3 litters each year. Each litter can contain between 1 and 12 babies, with the average being 5. And 5 is usually 5 or 4 is what my daughter gets over there for hers. Female rabbits can get pregnant almost immediately after giving birth. My daughter found that out by mistake. She thought, I got a month before they get pregnant again. No.
Nope.
Rabbits can get pregnant at 3 to 6 months of age, depending on the breed. So looking at this, you've heard chicken math. We're going to do a little
rabbit math.
Rabbit math. Okay, so if you get a one doe and one buck, and she's already 3 months of age, and a month later she gets pregnant, and she has 5. Let's go with 4 babies, and immediately gets pregnant again, and has another 4 babies. All right, so now you're into. So if she gets pregnant January 1st, by the end of February, you have 10 rabbits now. And you keep them apart. This time you keep them apart for an extra month or so, or an extra 2 months. And then all of a sudden, the first batch, which is now 4 months old, or which is now 3 months old, 1 or 2 of those get pregnant.
Because you didn't separate them out.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell the difference between those donuts and tacos.
Yeah. And so you can, and it's if you're trying to breed them and you're setting them up and you wait for them to be pregnant, you separate them out and then get pregnant and do stuff like that, you can, by the end of the year, have several hundred rabbits.
Yes. And each one is about 3 to 4 pounds dressed out for dinner.
Yeah. Okay. So, question Sumi asked, how long is bunny gestation? 30 days.
Yeah.
On average. Yeah, my daughter and her husband have put away probably about 20 rabbits since they started raising rabbits. The kids love eating them. The kids love playing with them more than they love eating them. But, yeah, Arizona jackrabbits and Southern California jackrabbits and Nevada jackrabbits, that whole area down there, huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have the Eastern cottontail here.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what my daughter got this last time. She went and bought some more rabbits down at the Firth Mill, grain mill. But do I got anything after this? I think it's black. Okay. The interesting thing is, though, and this is something to be careful about, anybody wanting to raise rabbits as your primary meat source. You can die from lack of, so word I want to use, fat in your diet if you're eating only rabbit meat.
Yeah, that's a really, really lean meat. So when you cook it, you need to do something like wrap it in bacon and fry it.
Or have been saving all your tallow and
right. But very few people are going to cook it without putting some sort of oil in the pan to fry it. So you don't really have to worry about that unless you're one of those people that's trying to be super healthy conscious and not use any oil for frying. Then you might have.
I found something interesting out today on one of the reels I was watching, and I got distracted by the grandkids and I forgot to save it and went on to the next one. There was a chef on there and a nutritionist talking about avocado oil for cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess avocado oil has a higher smoke temperature than olive oil does, so you can cook higher temperature in it.
Yeah, the burn
and
point.
They actually talked about cooking rabbit meat in it because it needs the oil, grease, whatever you want to call it, in there. So
yeah,
if you're in a southern state or if you're in a northern state and you got a wall of peony and you can grow avocados, look into harvesting avocado oil. I had a video clip from back 1999 that someone sent me about this, about people, about killing Bambi, and it showed this person was taking snapshots of this deer in the backyard, and it's a small deer, and it grew up and grew up and grew up. And then the last segment of it was the deer attacking her husband during rut season.
Yeah.
And then the next thing was the wife out there with a rifle taking it down because it was attacking her husband.
Yeah. They don't make good pets.
No. Anything that goes into rut season does not make good pets.
No. They're beautiful animals though, but not good pets. Now, a rabbit can make a good pet, and you can house train it, and you can make a very good pet out of it.
Yeah, my daughter decided she was going to free range her rabbits because the kids kept getting into the cages and letting them out anyways, the outside cages and stuff. And finally, she just turned them all loose, and she goes, "Fine, there. Now you can't catch them." There are still 2 of the rabbits that the kids can catch because the rabbit will stay there and wait for the kid to come over and pick them up and pet them.
Yeah.
Those were 2 of the first ones, and they were raised that way with the kids petting them. At least with Danny petting them, and the other boys, are a little too rough for the rabbits, but Danny was, gentle. And actually, one time I caught Danny in the cage with rabbits. It's one of those big cages that was about 5 foot long and about 2.5 feet wide, about 2.5 feet tall. He had the lid open. He crawled in. He just got in there and was with the rabbits.
Yeah.
He listened to Mom. Mom said, quit taking the rabbits out. Okay. He hopped in
Fair
with
enough.
the rabbits.
There's always one that knows how to get around all the rules.
Yeah. And let's see. And what's okay. I have to say, I do have a favorite grandson. And it just dawned on me one of the reasons why he's my favorite grandson. So I'm number 3 of 4. Danny is number 3 of 4.
Yep, you have some traits in common.
Yes. And like, yeah. But there's not 10 years difference between him and his oldest sibling. Okay, Zach, son-in-law, has a full-grown buck goat. Oh yeah. Who is it? Hidden Heights Homestead. I think they're in Oklahoma. Or was it keeping it Dutch? Were had problems with they were out there and they had one goat buck that tried mounting the guys. And of course, if you don't know, goat bucks pee all over themselves.
They smell awful. Horrible.
And they were peeing all over the guys too.
Yeah. No. Yeah. In rut season, when you used to have goats, I would go out. I'd have one set of clothes that just went to the barn and then hung outside in the garage. And when I goat sit for people, I hope it's not during rut season.
Yeah. Yeah. What the electrical cords? Our cat, when my wife had 2 white cats, yeah, they chewed up all the speaker wires. I had a speaker system all set up, and they got up on top of things, and they chewed up all the speaker wires, and then they started chewing up the lamp cords, wires, and stuff. But so rabbits, you got to think of it this way: if you don't just go out and get rabbits, plan ahead of time, figure it out. What you want to do, you got to be able to separate the bucks from the does immediately after conception.
Weaning.
Yeah, immediately. And you got to be careful of them because my daughter thought she had identified them properly until like 4 months or so. The one that she thought was a doe turned out to be a buck and was all of a sudden was on top of all the others all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I have out here with the old pig pen that Brandon put in. It's got a big concrete area, and then it's got the concrete inside the little silo, and I got to patch the holes in there. I'm thinking about doing I was thinking about doing rabbits in there and stuff because I can close it up and keep them safe from predators. And in the wintertime, it's I can just throw extra bales of alfalfa and they can burrow into the bales of alfalfa, eat it and stay warm and everything else or whatever. But I just have to separate it in half. So bucks over here, does over here. It's one of those things is we're still planning and thinking about it. And every time something goes wrong across the street, it's like, okay, we need to change our plans for this.
The problem with just putting a wire fence between, like if you have like a divided cage, they will still find a way through the divider. You need to have them physically separated from each other with more than with a large space, not just a single wire barrier.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Oh, I caught the 2 cages. My daughter had 2 cages next to each other, and they were through the wire.
Yeah. Yep.
But there's just there's one of the things. It's like, all right, chickens, rabbits, probably going to wind up raising both, but we got a little bit more research to do. And once the staff sergeant's up here, one of the visits, we need to start planning things out and thinking about it so that when she comes up here full time, we can jump right into it. But that's one of the things I think, like last week we talked about chickens for preppers, rabbits for preppers this week. Well, wait a minute. Chickens have a lot of grease with them. So you can make a stew with rabbit meat and chicken meat in there. And chicken meat is going to give the extra grease, oil, fat, whatever off, so that you're and it's going to soak into the rabbit meat as you're doing it in a stew or whatever. So that'll help out with that. Now, Tammy.
Yes.
I went and added to the schedule.
Okay.
This is probably, bring it up here. This is going to be the middle of August. Canning rabbit.
Oh, all right.
Because it just dawned on me, it's like, okay, there's probably going to be some little extra things you may want to do in canning rabbit, like using a heavy chicken broth or beef broth or something like it that has more fat with it when you can to help it better. But we'll talk about that as we get to that.
Sounds good. Yeah, they don't have a long life. But I know somebody that had one that was quite old. The larger breeds, believe it or not, the one that was the Flemish Giant, the purebred Flemish Giant, he lived to be quite old.
Yeah. And along the same line, I just saw Sumi's comment here. I'm trying to remember what it was. There are a lot. I mean, Fake Book has a lot of problems in its main stream stuff. But if you get into the reels and just go through the reels, you can find some really interesting stuff. And there was one talking about tanning rabbit hides.
I saw one just recently. I know you can do the brain tanning, which I have not done, but you can also do like a egg tanning or something they were showing. It was
this was something else. This was a different type of tanning. It wasn't pea, it wasn't brain, it was something else out of the garden. It's like, walnut. It might have been walnut.
I know the one I saw was really dark, so that could be. I was trying to figure it out. I kind of saw the middle of it and I didn't go back because I don't have rabbits now. I used to have Californians, which I really liked. I had New Zealand's I didn't like. I had the Angora, which I absolutely loved. I had Silver Fox. I thought that'd be really great. They've become very popular around here. Mm-hmm. But I did not have the success with them I had with the Californians.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things I thought about earlier today as a joke, and the more I think about it, the more it fits in with how we Food Forest permaculture on it. His guerrilla gardening, we get a bunch of rabbits and you go, oh, I'm going to turn a bunch of rabbits loose over here. I'm going to turn a bunch of rabbits loose over there, out in the parks and the fort, so you have a.
The problem is wild rabbits are very well adapted to living in the wild.
Yeah.
The European breeds that we raise as pets and for meat are not able to survive in the wild.
Yeah. What made me think about it is, okay, so there's been a adolescent cougar coming around, and there's been a big raccoon coming around trying to get into my daughter's chicken shed, and there's been a big old hawk coming around. But far as my daughter can tell, none of the rabbits she turned loose have gotten taken. Keeps seeing it. She has that's the dark brown one. That's the dark brown speckled one. That's the one with the light brown with the white paw on the left foot, front foot. That's the one with two white paws. And she knows all the rabbits.
Right.
And she sees them all the time. So she hasn't said that any of the rabbits have gotten taken. So, although they've come close a couple times when they've eaten up all but 3. I planted 15 butternut squash. I got 3 left.
Oh no. Well, you still will get a lot of butternut from those 3.
Yeah, if they survive. I think they got heat hit or something. Something happened to them, but they're just they're not doing as good as the cantaloupe or the pumpkins. And they took out 4 of the cantaloupe.
Oh no!
But I planted 16 cantaloupe though.
Oh,
So I still have 12, and I was just planting it just to get it growing and covering the ground and blocking other weeds and stuff. But yeah. But as far as the rabbits over there going, those rabbits seem to be doing pretty good. Of course, there's also a lot of high weeds that have not been mowed like somebody's supposed to mow them over there. So they got a lot of area to hide in and go around and get away from stuff. But
is they'll also burn underneath your buildings and erode your foundations.
yeah, well, fortunately for the house over there, there's concrete on 2 sides, and then there's a bunch of piled concrete which we haven't poured over on another side. So it's just two sides where they might, but the dirt has been piled up because the foundation was sitting up above the ground a bit. So we piled it up so the water would all run away from the house.
Oh, all right.
So, but yeah, the wild rabbits. Southern California. I remember the rabbit herds going through Southern California, and not downtown, but out near Tahunga and La Crescenta. You go to the pitch back right up onto the Angeles National Forest, and they get areas of rabbits just coming through now and then, and then the coyotes would come in, and the next year it'd be hardly any rabbits, and then the coyotes would start coming in because the rabbits are all gone. There's cycles in Mother Nature.
Yep.
On it. All right, I'm just looking at the topics here. Thought the female was a male because she was jumping on him, not realizing they did that. Yeah. That was one of the things why my daughter got 2 of them confused and wound up with a male and female together. That yeah. But yeah, so I look at it this way: if you do the rabbits right, and you set up with something where you have cages where you can collect the rabbit poo, keep them safe and comfortable depending on the temperature for your area. Rabbits can be a super boon just to the garden itself. And if you get certain plants like the Swiss chard, the rainbow chard, the Grand Rapids lettuce, which goes absolutely bonkers, you can just plant an extra row of food just to feed the rabbits, so you can keep the rabbits with more food plus all your scraps that you're not putting directly into the compost pile that you're giving or directly to the chickens that you're giving to the rabbits.
Well, during World War I and World War II, they fed them table scraps, potato peels, and they go out and cut the grasses along the roadways. Everybody had rabbits in their backyard because you couldn't have large animals in town, and it made them a target if they did. And so they all kept rabbits, and they go out with a scythe and just go along the ditch banks and cut stuff, and then they dry it so they have it as hay in the winter for them. And that's been a staple in Europe for years.
Oh yeah.
It's not that hard to do. One person can easily put up enough hay for a rabbit for the winter if you're supplementing with food scraps.
Yeah. And if you're able to, and if you happen to have like a large lot or 2 lots equivalent, you can plant. You start planting the extra vegetable stuff that the rabbits will eat. And so after you've canned all you're going to eat, you can actually can food for the rabbits too.
Yeah, I just went out and would cut stuff and I would just dehydrate it. You know, if I had an extra tray in my dehydrator, I would dehydrate dandelion leaves and grasses and stuff and just throw them right in my dehydrator when I was running a load, and then put it aside for my rabbits. And then they love that in the winter, having that extra.
Oh shoot! All right. Somebody made this. I've seen the reel pop up several times, but they made a dehydrator. They made 3 of them that were 4 foot by 4 foot square solar powered ones. And so they had big old 4 foot by 4 foot piece of plexiglass on top, and they had 2 trays, and they had a little computer fan type thing blowing air, and a little solar little 5-watt solar panel to power it, and long black flexible drain pipe, so it would heat up, so it's getting more hot air, and just it was a nice setup, and they were dehydrating anything and everything coming out of the garden.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. But even if you just hung handfuls, I mean, it's something you could easily do. And people, if somebody asked you what you were doing, you could just say, hey, I'm cutting the grass, and nobody would question it.
Yeah.
So you could be very stealth with your rabbits, which you can't be very stealth with a cow or a goat.
And the thing is, though, I've noticed a lot of, dealing with the cities that I've dealt with in California and even here in Idaho, none of the cities had ordinances against rabbits. None of them. Only chickens or cows, because cows got big, but
The city I moved out of had an ordinance against rabbits. But here's the thing. First of all, they got to find them, and they're not noisy.
Yeah.
And you can put them in a shed, so they don't have the legal right to go into your shed to look for one. So if you're keeping it all clean and you're keeping it tidy and you're keeping everything kind of locked up, they won't know. Plus, if you keep one in your house as a house pet, they're not gonna know.
Yeah. All right, that's interesting. The husk peels from the corn.
Yes, they love it. Love it.
Which means, if you grew a bunch of corn, so that means all that husks and stuff from the corn, which most people would either throw away or throw out into the compost bin, now gets dehydrated for rabbit food.
Mm-hmm. Or fed fresh in the summer when it's available. Save on pellets.
Yeah.
Yes. And the thing about butchering a rabbit is when you butcher chickens and the feathers and stuff, they stink.
Yeah.
Butchering chickens, there's an odor, but you could be very stealthy with rabbits. There's no odor like that. Not like that.
Let me check something here. Books. Hopefully it's in here. There we go. All right, so I'm got something here to share for everybody here, dealing with this here. Go and drop that down. Okay, so 2 books. I got the one. The Butchering Beef. It's a very good one. A lot of good color photos on how to do stuff. This is the next one, but it's almost twice as much. But it's butchering poultry, rabbit, lamb, goat, and pork. And
I have the old set by Story Publishing.
It's this one. It's going to do it for me here. So some of the pictures from it. How much is it? And so I see everything's colored out and just, nice descriptions and stuff and how to do stuff. So talks about tools, everything you need to know, and going through the different ones. So yeah, that's when we start to raise our own rabbits or lambs. This is the book we're going to be getting. Okay. I'm just checking the side chat here. Yeah, you don't want to pea getting the concrete.
A lot of people use a piece of tin and then an eaves, and they take the tin goes under the cage, it goes into the eaves, and then all the pee runs into the eaves. The eaves then goes down to a 5-gallon pail you empty outside. So
Yeah.
literally, if you're emptying that on a regular basis, there won't be any smell, and it won't stain your concrete, or you won't have to use lime like you do in a barn.
One of the things that I've become a supporter of is getting the 2-part epoxy paint mix for the concrete floors, both in the like in our house in California. They had a cement patio thing closed and everything else, and made it part of the house. But I went and pressure wash that, and then I put several coats of the epoxy on there to because I just something about it we didn't like, so we just covered it. I've done the same thing out here on the patio. I painted that over with the epoxy sealer on it, and I'm going to be doing the driveway here in a year or two with different colors for the grandkids. So I'm going to make paths for the kids to ride their bikes around, circles and stuff.
A hopscotch pad and
yes, all sorts of stuff.
How about a shuffleboard pad?
But some of it first thing we're going to put down out there for the driveway is going to be a color that matches the concrete, and then we'll paint the other stuff on it. All right, Christy, take care of those animals.
Bye, Christy.
They've talked about there's no ordinance here for our city for chickens, but they've talked about it and because someone had too many roosters out there, and word got out that they're talking about doing that, and the person harvested their roosters because they had a lot of regular chickens. So yeah, rhino liner works too. Speaking about that, just the old-fashioned bed liners, the plastic ones that would snap in place, those work good too for putting the cages on, because basically if you put it where it's got a slight incline to it, just a slight, and the pee and stuff will run down to the one end, and you just have like a gutter on that end to take it over to a bucket or whatever. Anyways, so if you don't have rabbits and you're thinking about it, hopefully we gave you information, ideas on things to do. There are a whole bunch of places you can get cages from. I know Tractor Supply has cages, but that's down in Pocatello. Up here in Idaho Falls, there is the Cal Ranch, and it's someone's initials, CAL, and they got a lot of different size cages, and my daughter's gone up and gotten several cages up there. And of course, you go to Ace Hardware and you get hardware cloth, the heavy duty stuff, and you can build your own cage as well.
Just make sure you put something in for their feet. I always put like a tile, just a 12 by 12 tile, especially in the summer, so they have some way to get up off of the wire. And it also helps keep them cool in the summer.
Yeah, you probably like at Home Depot or Lowe's when they every now and then I'll see an open box of tiles there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, and they got individual prices on them. Like someone opened it up to look at it, and one got broken, and then they can't sell the box, so they we're selling them like that.
The other thing you can do is go to like Dollar Tree and get the dish drainer mats and put those in there. They don't last as long as the ceramic tile, but they're very easy to clean with a garden hose, and that also gives them some place to rest so that they're not always on the wire.
Yeah. Yeah. You can always check Facebook. Oh, hang on. You just gave me an idea here. See if I can bring it up here. Let's see more. We have this one page here called Hobby Farms of Southeast Idaho, and basically this is people selling stuff. Horse stuff. Oh, there. Milk goat for sale.
Nice looking one.
Yeah. Chest freezer. They've don't have space for it anymore. But
I find that if you watch the local Facebook about a month to 2 months after Easter, you can find the cage and the rabbit, and they want them to go to a good home right away because they've lost interest already.
Yeah. Interesting here is this bandsaw. This is a meat cutting bandsaw with built-in grinder.
Ooh.
He only used it twice, and he decided he's not going to process meat anymore.
Will he ship to Michigan?
Oh no, it's sold. It's sold. He put sold on. Yeah. St. Anthony's too far away for me. Alfalfa's going big right now because they're already harvesting alfalfa. Come on, where's the cows? Now they're shelling out rams and stuff. And they're selling the combines, sprayers. Come on, they said earlier this week there was in there a whole bunch of leatherworking. Yeah, if you can find a group like this in your area, for your area, and I found it totally by accident. But come on, there we go. Rabbit cages. All sorts of rabbit cages, bunny cages, and there are a bunch of others, of bigger ones. But yeah, you find something like this, a place like this, so hobby farmers of your area, and you'd be surprised what you can find.
Ooh, look at that one. You're talking my language there.
Yeah, he doesn't have any room to store it, and it's outside now. Yeah. But yeah, there's, I say, we saw the rabbits, some there, we saw cages. But the other cages are, there's someone actually custom builds cages. I was looking for theirs. So you can find someone that makes cages for rabbits. I don't see them here. Yeah, a lot of alfalfa and trailers are going up for sale right now. Goat milk soaps. That's what someone does that here. No, that's not going to show the other ones. But yeah, there's another one. I mean, they have set sizes they do, and they'll do custom size ones for you if you need it for a special thing. Yeah, a lot of people do that. They'll
oh yeah.
They'll do the freeze the Either that, or they actually even freeze the gallon milk jugs and the gallon vinegar for that you get the at Sam's Club and Walmart, the pickling vinegar. Once you're done with the jug, save it, fill full of water, and that'll help the rabbits nicely. Yeah, so I hope everybody got something out of this. And if you know of anybody else that's thinking about doing rabbits, you know, tell them to watch it. Coming up here, let's see where we're at here. On Monday, Tammy's going to be out of the area. And so Mark and I are going to be covering freeze drying science, talk about freeze dryers, and not only just freeze drying, but rehydrating as well on Monday. On Tuesday, back here on Gray Man Prepping, talk about reviewing your emergency plans. And that kicks off the emergency plans for your prep for today for the rest of the month after that. Midnight Ride is on Thursday. Friday Friday night on the homestead on Camp Patton Family Compound. The topic is food devaluation. And I've been pulling up all sorts of information on that. And it's just absolutely insane stuff that I'm finding about it. And then next Saturday here, after the topic is going to sound kind of weird here. I got to come up with a better name for it. But after the collapse, septic system. So if there's a major collapse and things are bad for several years, you can take care of your sanitation problems. So that we're going to talk about that next Saturday here. All right. Thank you, Diana. All righty, everyone. So that's what's coming up here. Tammy, thank you for coming up here and sharing your knowledge of dealing with rabbits and stuff. And everyone, thank you for your comments in the side, talking about the different breeds and stuff. But once again, I'm going to pop this up here again here for you. Come on. There it is. So rabbitpedia.com/rabbit-breeds. You want to find out what other breeds they are and find out about them, their quirks, whether they're friendly, whether they're vicious, whether they produce a lot of meat, whether they don't, whatever. Good place to go look for it. And they list over 60 rabbit breeds there. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming by. And by the way, yes, I am feeling better. Yesterday, I'm not sure what it was. All of a sudden, it hit me about 3 hours before I was supposed to go live. And I it was bad. it was a 12-hour thing.
Ugh.
And it started earlier in the day, but all of a sudden, about 3 hours, it just hit me hard. And yeah. Anyways, I'm feeling much better now.
Good.
I mean, I'm sorry. Every time I hear that line, I think back to Night Court when John Astin was on it as Harry's father. Yeah, I was in the home, but I'm feeling much better now. All right, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you around.